Hi, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cynthia. Thank you for being here. And just if you're new here, thanks for checking out my work. And also, if you're not new here, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. And also, don't forget to turn on your notifications. That's something I'm noticing, that if you like my readings and want to catch them, if you turn on notifications, you get a little notice that I've got a new post. And I think they might also show up in your feed more readily if you've got your notifications on. And much appreciated. Thank you for any support you can give my channel. Commenting is always great. It really boosts the views of my videos. And so I had a couple. I actually wasn't planning to do a reading until tomorrow when I do my first quarter mood financial and career and creativity kind of layout that I've started doing on the monthly. And but I kept being pushed starting yesterday to do a reading about revenge. So I think what's happening is that, and it kind of came through more so this morning, that someone's thinking about getting revenge. And so I kept kind of, I don't know, I'm still learning how to listen to my little nudges around this kind of work. And so I kept dismissing it as like, well, revenge is a topic that interests me. This channel I'm trying to do more intuitively, that's not just about me coming here and exercising my ego all over the place, right? Like I wanted it to be kind of service while still being enriching and gratifying for me to do so regularly, like multiple times in a week. So anyways, sorry, I kind of just now lost my train of thought, or where I was going with what I was saying. Oh, just that I kept being nudged to take on revenge as a topic, and then it was like flooding me with James Brown, The Payback, and like just revenge, like, and I love revenge stories personally. Like I love Kill Bill, I love The Count of Monte Cristo. Like I like epic stories of revenge when somebody finally gets their vindication after being so horribly wronged. And so I'm just going to kind of go with it. There's another theme that I feel also like I need to speak on, which has to do with my last scrying session on the Obsidian Mirror podcast. I did an amethyst portal scrying with this new galaxy black amethyst piece that I have. And it was great, except for kind of not what I expected. And also a little more similar to the obsidian mirror scrying than I thought it was going to be. But one of the weird things that came through and seem to come through when I scry are a lot of pop culture references, which I think is because it's a common language for most people. Most people worldwide have exposure to the entertainment industry, for better or worse. And so it's a common language we all have, is through that vehicle. And in the amethyst scrying session, I had seen the Smurfs, which seemed very bizarre and funny, and I couldn't stop laughing about it. And then it really piqued my interest. I was like, why would the Smurfs be coming through? Like, what is it about the Smurfs? Is it something about the storyline? You know, I was trying to think on like Gargamel, Smurfette, right? Like all these, I just couldn't figure out, like, why would the Smurfs be a thing? Blue has been a color coming through a lot for me in readings, so I thought maybe it has something to do with the fact that they're all blue and they have blue skin, and blue avians is kind of a thing. Anyways, though, as I was reading about the history of the Smurfs, like who is their creator, what is their history, one thing that was made note of just on the Wikipedia page that I thought was so intriguing was that they wear, I had to write it down because I was worried I was going to forget it, and I did. They wear Phrygian caps, those little folded over white hats, right? There's a name for those. They're called Phrygian, I think is how you pronounce it. Please correct me if I'm saying it wrong. And so there was a little blue highlight. You know how on Wikipedia, those caps, it was highlighted. And I was like, yeah, what's with these caps? Because I know that they're used by ancient civilizations, the folded over hat. And as I was reading about it, there are all kinds of historic symbolism around these style of hats, including freedom from enslavement, liberation from oppression. There's a huge culture around that, sort of like you might here, if you go into history enough about the red bandana and rednecks, that has a history of kind of resistance, right? So the red cap is a thing in France that was all about the resistance. And then it went into the Magi of the Zoroastrian faith, who wore, and maybe were the first ones to really convey deification or spiritual power through this style of hat. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that the Zoroastrian priests and the Magi and the Jinn realm are something that come through for me a lot in my readings, and I feel privileged. But with Jinn energy in particular, around scrying, you really have to be careful. There are Jinn kings that oversee the realm of gazing and scrying and portals. And I've encountered them now a couple times, and it was very humbling and a reminder that I need to tread carefully doing that kind of work. And there are entities that might want to cause mischief, right, in the human realm. So anyways, those hats were a thing that for me linked why the Smurfs even came through, because those themes are themes that do come through, and we're talking about those folded over hats and Zoroastrian priests and Jinn magic and all kinds of stuff. And the Smurfs exist in a magic realm, in an alternate realm from ours, right? So anyways, really interesting. And now this reading is going to be about revenge, because somebody's been thinking about revenge, and I've been guided to do a layout about it, and for you who's thinking about revenge. And the other thing that came through about this and about the revenge theme was a conversation that I had with my uncle over the last Christmas holiday. He's a very Christian person and always has been. He raised his own daughter, my cousin, in the church. He and my aunt are very devout Christians. They're from the Church of Christ. My uncle's an elder in the Church of Christ. That's not really my world, but my uncle's he's also a Vietnam veteran, and was in the Air Force, and so he's seen a lot in his life and been forced to confront, including my mom's death, a very untimely death at age 27 that devastated their family. So my uncle's a complex person, and I think sometimes people who are spiritually oriented towards Christianity get dismissed as being stupid somehow, or naive or whatever, especially from the scientific community. And my uncle's very far from any of that. He's been through a lot in his life, and his spirituality is very complex. And he was talking to me about revenge, kind of in the same way like I am now. He felt guided to talk to me about it, because I had been wanting vindication from a couple people who've really harmed me in my life. And my mind was circling around revenge a lot. And I wasn't planning to get revenge, but what I was doing was like glorifying revenge and imagining how vindicated I would feel getting my revenge, like Beatrix Kiddo, right? Like how empowered that would feel to get my vindication in that really empowered warrior like way. And I'm not alone. A lot of people, it's a theme going back into ancient humanity. And so my uncle was saying, telling me about a time in his life when he was about to get revenge. He was going to get revenge, and he shared with me from a vulnerable place. So please don't mock this anywhere near the comments or anything, even in your energy. You can just go away if you want to ridicule this in your mind. But he felt God intervene in his life and tell him not to get revenge, that it was going to create more harm that he couldn't see. And he was like, it took everything I had not to get revenge because somebody harmed. And he didn't tell me what happened, but I sensed what happened is that somebody really harmed my aunt, irreparably, in the kind of ways that you might violate a woman, right? And of course, as as they were intimately involved and married, what sort of traditionally masculine man wouldn't feel like it was now incumbent upon them to get their revenge and to fight, and vindicate their wife, right? And their honor and all that. And so he didn't do it. And he said it ultimately brought him a lot of relief and peace, but it was very hard in the moment not to get revenge. And I remember feeling really released from my own desire to get revenge through hearing that story. And then later, I was kind of in a meditation. I wasn't even thinking about revenge, but in a meditation recently, which I think was what was leading to this reading, it was showing me an instance where someone was carrying out revenge against someone that harmed them, like, or their loved one harmed their parent. I think what I was showing, like a son vindicating something that happened to the father. And it showed the son getting the vindication and basically like murdering the person that had harmed his father. But what he didn't understand was that that person that harmed his loved one was then no longer able to provide for their child. And their child then went into... So regardless of whether that person was good or bad or deserved the revenge that came to them through this murder, there was an unintended consequence, which is that this child was left orphaned. And whether this person was a good person or not, they were still caring for this child. And so now this child has been orphaned by somebody else's desire for vindication. Whereas had God been allowed to enact the vindication for the innocent one, maybe this child wouldn't have been harmed in the process, right? So it's like the intricate web that we don't see when we're trying to get revenge. That's what I'm supposed to tell you about here. So I'm hoping, I know that's really long-winded. Normally I'm trying to curb my desire to just get on a speech mode before doing my reading and just start my readings. But the whole reason I'm even doing this reading is because of all those stories. So I feel compelled to tell the stories so that you understand the background. And because this is your story, I think, in your reading. So if revenge has not been a theme for you lately, this is very likely not going to be your reading, and you can just click off. And I'm going to put revenge in the title as well. So you know that if you've been thinking about revenge, this is what you need to understand about the situation. You're somebody who's been wrongly harmed, okay? So you're an innocent. You're an innocent. Your revenge desire is very understandable and justified. Yeah, Princess of Swords right here. And this card, I have a very personal relationship with this card, so I know that's like more confirmation for me that I meant to do this reading for you. And the Princess of Swords does not fuck around. She is a fuck around and find out kind of energy. So you may be the one who's been wronged and you are lit for revenge at this point. You're like, nobody's gonna fuck with me like that or fuck with my loved ones like that, right? You're on ready to enact some kind of, you want your justice. And you are willing to go long term under the radar to get your justice. Like the Count of Monte Cristo, that revenge plan was carried out over decades, okay? So that's you. That's the energy you're in. You're thinking about a slow game revenge plot here. That's you. It's a conflict of your pride and your creativity. Like maybe you felt like you had something that was of you, like a creative idea or a generous way of being stolen from you and taken advantage of. And it created a feeling that you were abandoned. You may have been abandoned by what happened here. It caused you to be abandoned or experience an abandonment in some way that you didn't deserve. Okay, so here's what's going on. The main major arcana card for this plan that you're thinking about and this vengeance that you would like to take, the only major arcana card here in the deck is the moon. So it's important that you hear this message that things are not as they seem. You don't want to carry out a revenge plan that's incredibly strategic and plotted out and planned for over a long period of time when things are actually not what they seem, okay? It's important to hear this. Please consider this a warning to steer you off the path that you're thinking about going down or about to go down, because things are not what they seem, okay? Your vulnerability is that this seed is growing in you to get this plan in motion, and you are incredibly energized to go and move forward, and your mindset is that you have the focus and determination to do the work, no matter how long it takes to get justice for yourself. you, in your mind's eye right now, you have a sense that now is not the time, but you're hatching your plan for later to get this revenge, right? What's important is that things are not what they seem, but also that might be part of your plan, is that you are going to try to create a field of illusion for the people that harmed you so that they become confused and act out of illusion themselves, okay? So like that could be spell work. It could be feeding them false information like a stock tip so that they then go and make an investment that ultimately ruins them. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Where the energy is headed is that there's about to become some kind of impassioned, loving information coming towards you, okay? So I feel like this Knight of Cups energy is the wild card that you may not be aware of that's existing around this desire for you to get revenge. I don't know how it relates, but we're going to get some clarity right now. Who's the Knight of Cups? What does the Knight of Cups have to do with your desire to get revenge? And what's interesting is that you're wanting revenge is not really coming here with a lot of warning, other than you need to be aware that things are not what they seem, okay? And that's a warning in itself. If you're wanting revenge, but you're doing it from a place of illusion, that's the warning, right? Because like that person in that story, I have the sense that because you're an innocent person, you don't want to think of another innocent person being harmed by your need to get revenge, okay? Who's the Knight of Cups here? What's the Knight of Cups? There's good news coming in from you. It's going to bring you a new choice, and it's coming in about something calmer or more reasonable clarity. So it's important that you, while you're aware that you're hatching this idea for revenge, that you understand that you don't know everything, that things are not what they seem, that you're missing a lot of information. But where the energy is headed is that you're about to get good news and clarity that's a much calmer energy than where you are right now, which is very conflicted and wanting and hatching the seed of a revenge plot. Getting this new information is going to bring in a new choice. And what I'm hoping this reading is going to do is help you see to choose a different direction than the one that you were going down in terms of revenge based on this new information coming in. What happened? What's this about? What happened that has gotten you to a place of like, I'm going to, not only do I want revenge, but I'm going to make it an epic story of revenge, like Kill Bill or like the Count of Monte Cristo. Like, what happened? What are because it's really shocked your sense of justice for yourself and your own sense of, I was innocent here and I didn't deserve what happened to me, right? What happened? What's the story here? How were you wronged, or what else is important to know about how you were wronged in this situation, Spirit? You are in masculine energy. You are a masculine. And you're thinking about getting revenge because you feel that the person that you were in love with that had your heart was unfaithful. And part of your revenge is wanting her to hurt, right? And wanting her to have an affliction of some type, right? Like an illness, or there's something about that that's being woven into your desire to get revenge on her. And it's because you've gotten wounded and hurt in your heart. It also looks like it was with someone younger than you. So that's often a cliche for women, right? That women get thrown aside for a younger woman. In this case, it's the reverse. The energies are you're coming through as a masculine and you're thinking about revenge because you were betrayed in love. I'm very sorry. But what I'm telling you too, the message is that things are not what they seem. there's confusion here that you're not aware of, or that you're seeing something that's an illusion. Okay, it's important for you to hear that. I'm not saying you don't have a right. I think I'm not saying that it's not true. They didn't cheat, or, you know, I mean, maybe they did cheat, but there's something up to the story. There's a piece of it that you're missing. And I know that you're hurting. There's a lot of hurting energy here, and a lot of very calculated, like, thinking deeply about how you're going to get back at them because you're so hurt. And I understand, because I'm someone that loves revenge stories. So of course, who wasn't rooting for Beatrix Kiddo in Kill Bill? Everyone. She's an amazing heroine. Or hero, I should say. Sometimes I don't like that gendered separation. Like, Uma Thurman did an incredible job in that role. That character is phenomenal. Of course you're pulling for her. You also are made aware, though, of what a killer she is, and that Bill is also a killer. So they're two killers, right? You might not be a killer, okay? You might be someone who's a good person, maybe like Beatrix Kiddo, but Beatrix Kiddo was also an assassin, okay? Not all assassins are villains. If we're looking back on, you know, someone might daydream about going back in time and assassinating Hitler, right? So some assassinations are done from a place of the person feeling morally justified. So again, there's this kind of theme now of revenge and taking things into your own hands. And you're being cautioned here, not necessarily because, what's interesting though, is that it's not because of the message like my uncle's was to me, that he was being told that it was for God to get revenge and vindicate my aunt, not for my uncle to do that. That's not the message coming through here. The message that's common though, maybe, is that by you taking your revenge, there's a big piece of the information you're missing that's going to end up coming back to hurt you, either in your heart, because you're going to regret having gotten the revenge, because you're realizing another innocent person got hurt because of your desire to get revenge. It's saying you can steer down a path of just healing and recognizing that, yes, I was hurt, but I'm going to release my desire for revenge, right? And my rage and my bitterness. Because over time, those kinds of things can internally harm you the more you harbor them, right? Let's see, what else? What do you need to know? What do you need to know going forward in the energy? You're about to get some information that's going to bring clarity to the situation and help you see that you didn't have all the information and you can make a different choice. And maybe you don't want to harbor the revenge seed, right? What else is the energy bringing in? It's bringing in new information that's actually positive. You're going to like the information that comes in. It's loving. It's of a loving nature. It's positive, and it's bringing in some clarity of mind as well, and a calmer mind state. Right now you're in your feelings. You're not very, there's no error. Well, yeah, there is. Your sense of justice was really violated here as an innocent. Yeah. So there's going to be an opportunity, like it's saying that there's going to be some clearer, calmer energy coming in that's going to bring in some good news, that information that you were lacking. To me, what it's saying is that there's going to be new love and new energy coming towards you that's going to help you release this past situation. And that part of the reason you're in this mindset right now is because you're still grieving, or there hasn't been new opportunities crossing your path yet. So it's almost like, I know this is a cliche, but it's almost like it's saying there are other people out there that will love you, right? There are other people that will be even better love than this person that hurt you, okay? That's love for you. That's the right kind of collaborative, cooperative, creative energy of coming together, not what it was with this past person, but what it can be with someone new. Good energy, like maybe someone's going to show an interest in you and you're like, whoa. And it just helps you instantly forget about all the hurt that this other person caused, because it's really present right now. It still stings. You're still really hurting that this person betrayed you to the degree that you feel betrayed. What you're not seeing, though, is that something really positive is about to happen that's going to help you release it and let it go and realize I can just close the door on it. It's in the past. I can release my need for revenge. Do I want to live my future based in this past pain and focused on getting my vindication? Or do I want to follow this new trailhead that's not even about this old life anymore? That's something entirely new and fresh and for me and positive, right? That's what's coming. And, gosh, lots of 6 energy. 666. Yeah, it's a past love. You're going to have an opportunity to make a different choice. This is what it is. I'm not going to try to get down to whether this is the same person that you feel hurt by or a new person that's coming back into your life that you loved once and is now coming back because they see that you're free. It could be one or both. It depends based on who you are in the collective. This is a new version that's going to help you say goodbye to the pain of this previous betrayal. And it's also going to help you say goodbye to the revenge. So just know that and be prepared to release the desire for revenge, I guess. Something about this, because so what then? Why even do this reading? If that was just going to happen naturally, maybe it's because I don't know. Spirit, what the hell? I'm confused all of a sudden. Like, why is this reading coming out then? What's the message for you? What's important for you to understand then in this situation? Why did I feel so pushed to do this reading if the only outcome is that you're about to find out something new that's going to help you let go? Like, why was I needed then? Why did I need to do this reading? I'm not understanding that. Maybe you're not seeing it coming that this person is going to come back and say, I want to be with you again. And you've already been convinced that they don't want you anymore and that they've moved on. That might be what it is. And that's why this reading is coming through. I'm not necessarily feeling like, that's it. But what is this? Like, why do I need to know this? Why is this coming through for you? Why is this reading coming out? If you are about to learn you don't need to get revenge anyways, then what's the point of the reading? Why is this happening? It's guiding you to walk away from this plan of the sorrow because things are not what they seem, like I just said. There's new communication coming in, and it has something to do with the King of Pentacles. So there's new information coming in. You're in this Knight of Pentacles energy you're so hurt, you're willing to do whatever it takes. And this is saying there's going to be stuff coming in that's going to make you feel so abundant. You're just going to forget about this need to get back at someone or get your revenge. It doesn't matter who the immediate players are in the equation. Put it where it fits in your life. If this is for you and you've tuned into this because of the revenge theme, you're not even gonna, this revenge, the way that it's kind of taking this toll on you and you're kind of simmering on it and like fantasizing about it and about getting your vindication. Just what's so funny and I think miraculous about living is something's gonna happen that you don't see coming that's just gonna make all of that evaporate. And it's newness and it's new communication and you're gonna be feeling like a King of Pentacles instead of this Knight that's got to plot and plan and plant the seed and start making the strategy, right? Like none of that's even going to be in play anymore. So do you want to spend this current energy right now in that, or do you want to already ride the wave towards the new exciting and know that you don't even need to worry about getting revenge? Like this is all going to become a distant memory pretty soon, pretty quickly. A Knight of Cups coming in as quick energy. Knights are quick moving. So just know that and enjoy it. And I'll see you next time. I'll be back tomorrow with the financial reading. Have a good one.